Welcome to Transforming Work with Sophie Wade, exploring the future of work. Find out what's going on, disruptions, evolutions, opportunities, challenges, and interventions in our multi-generational distributed organizations. With a new tech and talent focus, discover what you need to know to stay upskilled and relevant and ensure your business keeps its competitive edge. Sophie investigates the promise and reality of the future of work now and as we look ahead. She interviews people who are changing work experiences and practices and shares how we can each transition smoothly and successfully to effective and more productive new ways of working.
Hi, and Happy New Year. As January gets going, this episode looks ahead with predictions and expectations, as well as encouragement for decisions, commitment, and action in 2024. Top line? It will be a busy year, especially upskilling for modern work, absorbing, learning, and proactively integrating new human-centric and flexible approaches, methods, and tools. Yes, another year of adaptation and adoption, of experimentation and iterations. But this next 12 months will be very different from the last. Why? Well, where are we? The world has moved on, and sentiments have shifted, or cemented, or waver, since many are still undecided about how to respond to our new business and work environments. Whatever your organization's stance, whatever convictions you and other leaders have or don't, will have a significant impact on your business operations, processes, policies, and performance, work arrangements and engagement, and outcomes this year. As 2024 begins, we are more than a year now beyond the pandemic. We've got a new sense of stability, while much continues to evolve for and around us. We have acclimated to the new dynamic environment, which has reduced volatility. Many trend lines are leveling or smoothing out. That is not to say the speed and situation are comfortable or clear. However, we can discern some of this new era's defining characteristics. For this new landscape, take a moment to consider how much you have already noticed. The faster pace of developments in the marketplace, your deepening relationships with prospects and customers to better tap into their experiences and how they are adapting and responding to their own evolving circumstances. Then, with whatever enthusiasm or reluctance, you are acting upon their more insistent request to prioritize certain new features and functionalities, since our businesses are more strategically entwined along the value chain than ever. At the same time, you may have noticed, but not fully registered, how much team members and colleagues are newly tasked with trying out emerging technologies and tools that are both adding capabilities and altering assignments, which has been changing how you do your job too, managing and overseeing people's work, who is doing what now and how and where. Plus, how should freed up time best be spent to get your business where you want and need to go? Think how differently recent projects have been completed, or how co-workers' routines have changed since this time last year, based on new AI automation, apps and extensions, helping create presentations, write code, gather and summarize research, draft job descriptions, and develop marketing plans and content. AI is catalyzing further transformation at work. We are navigating work in progress. What should you do? Recognizing these new circumstances, this is not a year for hedging and hesitation, for waiting and seeing what most people do. They have different situations and setups, different customers, configurations, and constraints, as you well know. What works for them is not going to be right for your company, business, and workers, whether employees or not. Plus, you have noticed how certain changes have been affecting your supplier and distribution channels. This is the year to discover what is right, what does work, and do it, test it, tweak it. You don't have to make bold moves unless you want to. There are companies outperforming the rest who have already been blazing a trail so you don't have to. In fact, these enterprises, while possibly technically pioneering in the new environment, have just been moving forward with the times, embracing modern work purposefully, registering new circumstances, demonstrating the core principles, and discovering and learning the fundamentals, so they can meet their business and talent needs, create competitive advantage, and achieve strong results. In this environment, modern work principles and fundamentals matter to apply appropriately while the marketplace and people's situations and skills evolve. Things are moving too fast for cookie-cutter type static one-and-done solutions. Too many interdependent variables are changing at the same time. 2024 is about understanding your best prospects and customers, how your business best serves them, and the needs of your talent, those creating value, including you. This is a year for action and achievement. This year is about stepping forward with intention, refreshing your company's vision and purpose to inspire and align, and establishing a relevant system and framework to operate within. The conviction and confidence of leaders' actions inevitably dictates what lies ahead for you and your company. Together, you can determine where, what, and how you need to adapt. You can make vital choices. You must take critical steps for your business to advance. Yes, the landscape is undeniably turbulent, with disturbing external clashes and conflicts where differences and division dominate. Internally, the emphasis must be cohesive, focused on learning and growth, intention and clarity, flexibility and adaptation, trust and empathy. You can draw a proverbial line in the sand to put last year behind you and step forward together. Synthesizing all my experience and involvement in the future of work field since 2015, as I described in the episode on modern work that we published on October 20th, the essence of modern work can be captured in 4 core principles that are relevant for any ecosystem, organization, team, and individual. These are learning, intention, flexibility, and empathy. Here's a quick recap. Learning is being curious, accepting and adapting to the continuous evolution by adopting a learning or student mindset and keeping absorbing new information. Intention, that's being proactive, delegating more decision-making, engaging in deliberate participation, monitoring your attitude and approach, and managing your skills path and career. Flexibility is being open-minded, recognizing ongoing changes and being prepared to adapt as needed, and use flexible options to optimize business and employee performance. And empathy, being more deeply aware of other people, including customers, colleagues, and supply chain partners, tuning into their perspectives and sentiments for better interactions and outcomes. Yes, it is relevant and symbolic that these 4 principles spell out L-I-F-E, life. This is life at work, the essence of our working life. These principles enable business responsiveness as well as attentiveness to equilibrium in the overall employment equation, expressed by many as work-life balance. In 2024, I predict these principles emerge more and more obviously as part of your operational framework and guidance, enabling you to advance or hindering your progress where they are lacking. What determines your future this year? I predict that the most significant factor in deciding the dynamics and outcomes for your business this year will be the extent to which you and your company lean in hard and embrace the principles and fundamental practices of modern work. You can choose to be equipped for the new digital rules of engagement or not. If you do, your organization can be revved up like a souped-up car, ready to advance across a new landscape with an updated digitized operating system or engine, with new functionality or power, and new features that inform decision-making, driving the business forward. Think about what that means about your ability to assess which roads to choose and how fast you can reasonably go. What vehicle are you driving? How powerful is your engine? What resources or gas do you have? How equipped are you to steer the business at critical junctures? How good is the navigation system guiding you? Remember that the pathway of change typically isn't linear or smooth. There are periods of accelerated progress, speed bumps, detours and diversions, unmarked intersections, potholes, and muddy spots where your wheels spin. Let's imagine some visuals based on a few key factors. Executives express sentiments and policies, such as resistant and fixed, or forward-looking and flexible. And worker engagement, compliance, and turnover indicating aspects of effort, operations, and resources. I envisage 3 possible pathways in 2024. The first option looks familiar. The road is smooth, while narrow, walled in, and turns off quickly to go behind you. Your vehicle has a good engine, but it's old, uses dated technology, has worn tires, the gas tank leaks, and the navigation has a limited database. The second way opens out ahead, wide, clear, yet initially rocky. Your vehicle has a good engine, power steering, off-road tires, and the tank is full. The navigation shows networked intersecting forks with many suggesting routes extending far into the distance. The third road in front of you seems more even. This vehicle is partially upgraded. 2 tires need a little air. The gas tank is half full. The navigation system seems detailed, but just randomly rebooted. Of course, these options and visuals are oversimplified. But how can the first choice enable your business to advance sustainably under current and anticipated conditions if you don't have a forward-focused vision, new data, updated knowledge, skills, and resources to succeed? The rocky start and many unknown routes ahead make the second option far from a comfortable choice. Perhaps, like many others, your company has not made that selection yet. So for most, the third alternative was the default in 2023. It appeared the easier route, seemingly opting to get enough of what was needed, with expectations of finding a gas station along the way to fill up the tank. This predominant choice last year was an undecided step forward. Workplace policies are a prime example of efforts to adapt to modern work, or not. Around 2/3 of US companies ended the year with hybrid workplace policies, mostly fixed hybrid, by which I mean that employers determined a minimum number or specific days of the week when people were required to work at the office. The reason was to coax or convince them to come into the office, or to prevent them from quitting, not as a first step in adapting to modern work, looking at the big picture and recognizing workplace flexibility as an integral aspect of adjusting to digitalized operations effectively. Why? Well, the pandemic was a convincing cause for many perceived anomalies in business and at work. However, the crisis actually acted as an accelerant of trajectories we were already on. These are explained with data and detail in my October 20th episode. So these new policies have generally been an accommodation for work arrangements that have been expected or hoped to be temporary in nature. Indeed, this fall, KPMG's 2023 CEO Outlook revealed this reticence, reporting 64% of CEOs globally would like or preferred everyone back in the office full-time by 2026. Honestly, I originally almost dismissed this data. It was wishful thinking with no chance of success. Employees have moved on. That's not the point right now. If top leaders are still longing for, even anticipating that situations will revert and we will all be forced ultimately back to the office full time, how many are putting up with their company's hybrid policy? It's just for now, and they are waiting to retract it. What difference does a decision make? A lot. However much employees have not been returning to the office when told they must, conceding to a model to achieve specific immediate outcomes is very different from committing to it long term. How can yielding to undesired behavior generate the energy and dedication that leaders need to get everyone on board and embracing modern work? How can managers convincingly persuade all employees to learn new asynchronous methods and ensure they practice and upskill to do it well? And how can employees trust their employers' intentions if training doesn't support the policy implemented? I believe this is one reason so many employees are not fully complying with office mandates. Adapting for now doesn't move you forward or anywhere. Accommodating for now or simply not committing fully means you're looking through a different lens. How can you easily see the current landscape's new contours and details? You're not predisposed to notice them. You are unlikely to identify what your new settings really look like and what new characteristics mean for your business, such as hearing prospects' new pain points or realizing that urgency of customer requests to prioritize those particular features and functionalities. Instead, some are focused on trying to reestablish old operating routines, such as apprenticeship models that require managers and new hires to sit side by side, day in, day out, for months or years, rather than developing and testing effective hybrid apprenticeship routines and mentoring habits. All those different unmarked forks on the second road are unavoidable for every business. Trial and error are inevitable steps in the process of progress during periods of flux like this. Now is the time to take that second road and commit to modern work, learning the ropes, being flexible, adapting as needed, and developing the hard and soft skills and expertise that can move your business forward in 2024 and build for the future. What strategic framework and steps do you need to take? Modern work is human-centric. A comprehensive people focus enables your company to create meaningful connections and experiences for people within your organization and throughout your ecosystem. A human-centric framework that focuses on your customers and employees enables your company to develop strategic competitive advantage. These complementary external and internal groups, comprising the core of your business, can be beneficially nurtured and engaged with a mutually reinforcing, consistent, human-centric approach. Start with your customers, which means organizing and aligning everyone internally along the customer journey, ensuring they understand the core customer profile, paying attention to unexpected changes as circumstances and behaviors evolve. When different groups are assigned to address specific elements of customers' needs, coordination can be a challenge if there are different interpretations of what those needs are. If everyone assumes they are focused on serving the same target or problem, if solutions are developed without mutual accord and sufficient cooperation, small initial differences can result in great gaps in customer satisfaction. Orienting every division towards clearly identified and defined target customers and their journey is central to understanding their issues and collaborating effectively to solve their problems. Business units can then agree on an integrated, systematic approach, as well as the operational steps and critical elements involved in seeking, selling, serving, and supporting potential and existing buyers. Appropriate priorities and trade-offs can only be assessed properly when interrelated departments similarly comprehend customers' pain points, priorities, and deal breakers, so they can discuss and determine optimal and realistically achievable solutions. This approach also connects people with the meaning of their work, which magnifies their efforts. So focusing on the customer journey is both strategic and tactical for achieving success. Deloitte's 2022 Global Marketing Trends research revealed that the highest growing brands, those with 10% higher annual revenue growth, are comprehensively addressing the entire customer experience, from activating an enterprise-wide purpose to overhauling customer data strategies. This requires collaboration across all functions of the organization, with leaders working together to create 360-degree engagement encompassing people, data, and experiences. While you may have a clear understanding of your business's current ideal customers, I'm guessing others in your organization may not. Why not launch an open exercise to define or verify who these customers are? Is their profile up to date? Does everyone in the company have the same clear mental image of who these people or businesses are and their present circumstances, how they're feeling, and what they're dealing with? Outline your business's customer journey, which spans awareness, distribution, consideration, acquisition, experience, and advocacy, and evaluate how well your core customers' perspectives and experiences are understood, i.e., empathized with, for each segment. Assess your business's competitive positioning based on customer feedback and satisfaction. Share the data broadly and invite all business units to propose ideas, not just in their area, to make improvements. Assemble a diverse group to discuss and debate new concepts that enhance offerings, correspondence, relationships, and responses at all stages of the customer journey, including process-related enhancements through more data sharing, greater cross-company collaboration, and better use of technology. Notice what beneficial recommendations result from these broad-based and focused conversations, which are then crucial to act upon. Implementing and measuring agreed modifications not only benefits customer interactions and outcomes, but also encourages engaged employee participation in future cross-company coordinated discussions. Then it's your employees and understanding the employee journey, that is in complementary equilibrium. It's the yin to the customer journey's yang. The employee journey comprises all activities and interactions related to your workforce, from outreach to onboarding, recruiting to retention, exit, and even return. Just as concentrating on the customer journey facilitates integrated efforts by all divisions to comprehend, connect with, and improve prospective and existing customers' experiences, so does strategic and empathetic emphasis on the employee journey stimulate a stronger culture and deeper trusting relationships, as well as consistent, engaging, and supportive employee experiences, fostering high performance. It is relevant to note that as employment arrangements evolve and employers and workers agree on a greater range of options, the experiences of non-employee workers also become relevant for attention and strategic alignment to support their productive contributions too. This month, map out your company's current employee journey, detailing all the relevant steps from first outreach and connection, through training, promotions, and departure, as well as future communications to cultivate extended talent networks and external ambassadors, and sustain relationships. Consider what aspects and milestone moments you believe leaders at every level handle well, as well as others where more empathy, leading to better understanding, could support improved employee experiences and engagement. Involve all departments to develop a realistic overview of any worker's trajectory. Then, just as with the customer journey, have all constituents represented when deliberating improvements and priorities. A design thinking approach embedded with human-centric empathetic sensibilities allows you to foster improved internal work settings, situations, and interactions all along the employee journey. And let's not forget the rest of your ecosystem, where human-centric emphasis on values and mutual connections support more alliances and greater business integration with partners and suppliers to better navigate uncertainties together and even make joint bets on the future. Particular choices made by any company along the supply chain can impact others in the extended community of interrelated players. Executives in the same ecosystem benefit from stronger relationships in order to have constructive discussions about future scenarios and possibilities, getting a deeper understanding of each other's situations, risks, future choices, opportunities, and challenges. Think back to how your company needed to modify elements within your business ecosystem since emerging from the pandemic, working in coordination with a vendor because of a change in their circumstances, or a distributor who had implemented new technology. Supply chain alignment and shared values become all the more important as shifting targets or strategies often affect more than one organization. Operations are likely to be in flux at different times across your ecosystem as the companies absorb and adapt to the new external and internal factors. Since you and your suppliers, partners, and distributors cannot be sure how things are going to evolve, being agreed on core tenets, having developed good connections, can help ensure you are guided by the same values and more likely to make aligned decisions or be able to negotiate and agree coordinated strategies and continue to work together. Change is a constant now, and the human-centric approach is applicable all along your supply chain, as extensive ripple effects potentially impact everyone's revenues and future growth possibilities. It is worthwhile to launch this year with an updated assessment of your ecosystem, especially noticing any modifications that happened during 2023. Recognizing and being more attuned empathetically to your suppliers' and partners' changes and challenges benefits your long-term strategies and results. So what does a human-centric system look like? There is an important cultural and operational emphasis on the people throughout your ecosystem as they work together daily to create value and competitive advantage for your business. This means having a consistent philosophy and approach for understanding, engaging, and supporting each person and team. Tech is a given. Talent is a gift. They are the most critical strategic resource comprised of unique individuals who can flourish and perform their best when nurtured. Talent across the entire workforce requires attention and empathy, by which I mean human-centered focus and its understanding. To grow sustainably this year, they can develop, evaluate, and improve persuasive offerings. They can create compelling experiences and effective delivery mechanisms for your company's products and services. They can tailor appropriately for specific customers or target audiences. The human-centric system of modern work described above provides a consistent framework, orientation, environment, and treatment for everyone in your company and ecosystem to align with, based on core principles and fundamental practices. In addition to the principles of learning, intention, flexibility, and empathy, the modern work fundamentals are nurturing a strong culture and community to ground and guide people, fostering employees' sense of safety to encourage contributions and creativity, persuading leaders to coach and delegate to empower individuals and teams, fostering empathetic relationships across generations to improve trust and engagement, updating processes and policies to coordinate with tech, talent, and project needs, organizing upskilling and training to keep employees competitive and motivated, enabling internal mobility and nonlinear career paths to increase learning and retention, offering more employee arrangements to access and engage wide-ranging talent, and supporting worker well-being holistically with relevant benefits and resources. These fundamental practices each take attention and effort to launch or improve and sustain consistently. I use empathy habits to do that effectively. How would you assess your company on each of these fundamentals? Now, where do you go from here? I ended 2023 with a newsletter wrap-up in which I discussed important data to gather across the breadth and depth of your company's workforce and analyze thoughtfully. You might not have all the insights you could really benefit from yet, so employee surveys are important to integrate into January's activities to collect key understandings and schedule ongoing pulse surveys. This information is important to define your starting point, or the baseline your company draws behind you to advance and step away from, and then monitor and reward progress. In a tech-driven world, business continuity depends on interwoven, sophisticated platforms and tools, incorporated into updated, digitalized processes and workflow with AI-augmented speed and support. However, business success depends on employees' technology-related comfort and capacities, their ability to optimize live and asynchronous interactions, their aptitude at adapting and responding to customers' feedback and changing behaviors, competitors' pivots, hard and software updates, and they must continually learn and make ongoing adjustments as the landscape evolves. That's why intelligence about your talent is critical, as well as how this information is analyzed and weighted. Projecting ahead combines interpretation of the past, appreciation of the present, and expectations for the future. Previously, historical data, which was a reliable predictor of future trends, held the most significant weight. Right now, recent data is often more reliable and relevant for projecting out the possible pathways. Historical data is more carefully and contextually applicable, in part often to understand where we have evolved from, why we might have diverted to a different direction, what elements have been or need to be newly elevated or incorporated. The past, for all of us, is beneficial to show us how far we have come and how much more we have to learn and where we continue to need to advance. Our habit as humans, our instinct, is to invent and innovate, to continue our evolutionary path forward, to learn from disruptions and gain from turbulent disconnection to make jumps and leaps forward, which aren't necessarily comfortable at first. Of course, not all that is new is good. Not all that is past is bad or inferior to where we are now or what we have. The idea is not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, as the rather odd saying goes. We must be careful not to reject what is old, what has been done traditionally, simply because that is how it was done before. That doesn't mean it is necessarily convoluted, needs hacking or replacing or revising. This advice is especially important to help bridge disconnects between older and younger employees who may have starkly different experiences, which, without empathizing with each other, can lead to discordant assumptions about situations, motivations, and intentions, and suboptimal debates and decisions. This last point is key if you want your company to make progress. The objective is not to reject or accept, resist or desist. It is to assess and test, using observation, data, logic, and careful reasoning, ensuring diverse perspectives, including all generations, are valued, and then appropriate changes or updates are made as applicable to move forward. That's part of the rocky road we are all experiencing, no matter what choices we already made. Which road are you on? Which path forward will you commit to this year? The key is to have a human-centric approach and keep the principles of modern work top of mind: learning, intention, flexibility, and empathy to nurture work-life equilibrium. When you do, while it may not be easy or obvious, you will find your way. The human-centric system, encompassing the customer journey and employee journey, and more explanation of the principles and fundamentals of modern work, especially empathy and using empathy habits to infuse the human-centric approach, are all written about in my latest book, Empathy Works, the key to competitive advantage in the new era of work. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend and like it. You can also write a quick review wherever you listen. For regular video updates, curated useful articles, research and information, follow me on LinkedIn and sign up for my Work in Progress newsletter there. Thanks for listening. Until next time.